Taurus, Gemini, Moon people, to your Taurus new moon reading. This is an actual Aries, Taurus new moon, Aries in the Sidereal, Taurus in the Western moon sign. So you are Taurus, Gemini, Taurus in the Sidereal, Gemini in the Western. Want to check the links below to be sure. You may be Gemini in the Sidereal as well. So you might want to check out both videos, this Gemini. Then you want to also check your Gemini Cancer moon sign video, just in case you want to make sure there is resonance with the proper moon sign for you. Now, Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck is designed for those who are actively doing the internal work to heal mama drama trauma, a condition in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child, causing emotional and or physical trauma. In cases where the mother is unable, unwilling, or unavailable to heal, loving detachment is the way to do that. You need time and space away in order to diffuse the emotional and physical triggers and learn to love ourselves as well as loving our mothers unconditionally. Now, this is based on the 49 scenes of The Wizard of Oz. Of course, Dorothy is the poster child for healing mama drama trauma. So wow, look at that, and you get the moon signs and symbols of the chakras and all of that good stuff. So we're talking about Western astrology, which is the surface emotion, and the sidereal, which is the soul feeling. On the surface, we may not feel that we are able to break the cycle, right? MDT is a vicious family cycle, but on a soul level, we feel that we need to heal this in order to have a healthy, happy, and whole life, as the ruby red slippers symbolize for Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. Her birthright, that's what protected her. And so we talk about our divinity here. That's what protects us. And what we are able to gain the greatest from is in our divinity as it relates to our collective unconsciousness. We are but stardust, thus these astrological lunar readings. You are approaching this Aries, Taurus, new moon, Gemini moon people with a sense of your birth mother. And so birth mother energy in the Great Mother Speaks Oracle card has to do with perhaps not feeling that you are being heard. Maybe you are feeling that you are being rejected. This is the scene in The Wizard of Oz when Dorothy returns home to tell Uncle Henry and Aunt Em that Miss Gulch has chased her in toto off of her property, and they are preparing for market. They don't have time to listen to Dorothy, do they? They have other things to do, right? And they're wonderful orphan parents, adoptive parents to Dorothy, but they are busy trying to provide for her material well-being, Western astrology. So we have the Gemini energy of communicating and that Taurus energy of really wanting to feel grounded, secure, safe, right? Okay, and so the root chakra crescent moon card, you are entering this Aries Taurus new moon with that energy of really recognizing that there's some form of rejection, dejection, or neglect that you're feeling as it relates to a person or a situation. This moon is in your 12th house. Aries is also conjunct the moon in your 12th house with this new moon, as well as a Mercury. So communicating for you perhaps is all about being in this internal space. It's all about kind of reflecting on really what's going on for you with regard to this neglect. Mars is in your 9th emotional house. And so the houses move from the first house of the collective of Taurus, Gemini through the signs. And with Mars being in Aquarius, that makes it in your 9th house, and so you're probably feeling a sense of alienation from the group as a result of your philosophies, as a result of your spiritual beliefs. Maybe you are, as a result, realizing that's why you're sick. That's why you're hospitalized. That's why you're in jail, or that's why people are not calling you up or hitting you up. You're realizing that, oh, it's because of how I feel or about a particular topic, or how I feel about myself. If this awareness is not coming to you, this new moon is going to perhaps bring up situations in your life that this is being reflected. Issues of self-worth, issues with regard to your health as it relates to, again, this feeling of neglect, rejection, as a result of your beliefs. Now, you may not be actively articulating them. This is root chakra energy, but you may, as Dorothy is seen doing so in this card. This is a soulmate card. So as we often see with people that we want to express something to that is not being heard, they are on a soul level challenging us to go deeper into our expression and really grow on a soul level with regard to what it is we're trying to express. So often we spend our time and our effort trying to convince others of what we feel, trying to convince others of our value, when in fact that is what needs to be expressed within ourselves. Uranus is in Taurus now. It has just moved in as of this new moon in Taurus into the second house, and so that is your 12th emotional house. And so these are sudden awarenesses. And so either you have just suddenly become aware of this just before this new moon reading, or through this new moon season or this lunar cycle as it goes into the Gemini new moon, you will become aware of this neglect impacting your health, impacting feelings of isolation. Your transformative opportunity is the law of divine father. The law of divine father is telling you that it is time to act, double yang, single yin card, on your intuition. It is time to release and forgive anything that is making you feel neglected, anyone who's making you feel rejected, and to really just act on that intuition. So what does that mean, to act on it? It means that maybe you have been isolating yourself, and so as opposed to isolating yourself as kind of a way to not deal with these feelings of neglect or to deal with the person or the situation, acting on the intuition that it's not about them, that it's about you, just, allowing yourself to interact, allowing yourself on an internal level, first and foremost, to release the need to hold others accountable for how you feel. Great Mother doesn't want you to overlook that the angels are with you in this process. This is a very challenging process for you, learning to live in loving detachment, and it is an actual feeling of being detached at this time, and so they are with you in this. And so what do we mean by loving detachment? Loving detachment is about accepting what is without blame or retribution. And so that is what we're saying on an internal level needs to be acted upon. When we say on an internal level acting on something, that's shifting our thoughts, shifting our beliefs, shifting our attitudes internally, doing the internal work. I am an inner work life coach. We talk about our outer work and our business coaching and our this coaching and our that coaching. I do the inner work. So inner work is about making a conscious decision. And you have Mercury in your 12th house. And so this is assisting you to shift your understanding, to shift your inner communication, to line up with that Taurus energy in a way that you can reground and secure yourself with self-compassion. Self-compassion is your center card of the spread. The Kuan Yin card is all about this heart chakra energy, the crossroads between the ego and the soul, that says that you are aligning what your emotional feelings are toward others with what you know. And you're not doing it alone. You're doing it with the help of the angels. So have compassion for yourself. It's going to take a minute. You're aware that this is happening, and Geminis have that mercurial energy, okay? Gemini is ruled by Mercury, but it's in your 12th house, honey. And so 12th house has to do with rest, letting go, okay? It's associated with imprisonment and hospitalization because 12th house is the end of the zodiac wheel. That is when we actually process everything we've been through, everything we've learned through each house. And we associate eureka moments with being hospitalized. Oh, when I was hospitalized, I was miraculously healed, and now I know there's another life after. And I was in jail and I got my diploma and now I'm a lawyer. That's the light side. That's the side of divinity that experiences hospitalization, isolation, through imprisonment. But there's a dark side to that as well, which is why Great Mother's coming through and she's saying, be compassionate with yourself through this process, Taurus, Gemini, Moon people. You are in a season of allowing yourself to reassess your self-worth, allowing your body through your health. You may be having to release some forms of wellness that you've never had to deal with. You've always been healthy with regard to your muscles, with regard to your skeletal system, your joints. You've never had an issue with your sight. You've never had an issue, with headaches and things like that. But all of a sudden, there are some issues that may be causing you to have some neck pains and that sort of thing. And so you're probably releasing some previous forms of wellness in order for you to energetically, that physical body of Gemini that's always moving, that mercurial energy, to slow down, and that 12th house energy to kind of isolate, to kind of allow for that sudden release that Uranus is going to give in the moon sign of Aries Taurus right now in the 12th house. Okay, it's going to be over this lunar cycle from new moon to new moon in your sign of Gemini. So your lunar new year is coming up, and so we'll be doing your lunar new year next month. We just posted the Aries Taurus lunar new year because, of course, they are the new moon sign this month when the sun is in your moon sign. And so the sun is in Aries Taurus in the sidereal tropical, and the moon is in Aries Taurus. That's the lunar new year. This is all what is in the light. This is all probably what you already are intuitively feeling. On a deeper level, the shadow side of this for you is in realizing that all you have to do, hon, is click your heels 3 times and you will be home. Tar is the centering card. It's the third eye Wayne Gibbous Moon card. It's a gratitude and it's a thanksgiving for having been through your journey and now knowing that home is within. Home is that intuitive knowing what you know. And how you know what you know is that the voice of Great Mother and your angels is always gentle, always direct, always kind. Okay? And it's repetitive. It's repetitive. It says the same thing over and over again until we acknowledge it through our actions. And with Great Mother, we're talking about internal action. And so Dorothy had to close her eyes with Great Mother, Glinda, symbolized through Glinda, the Good Witch, and tap her what? Heels, foundation. 3 times, body, mind, spirit. So in your shadow position, Taurus, Gemini, Moon people, you already have the power to realign yourself immediately with what the truth is for you with regard to your own self-worth, with regard to your own health and value. Even though you may be going through some health challenges right now, you know that it's not something that's going to take you down if you would only click your heels 3 times. That's in your shadow position, so you may not really be either able to act on that right now due to an issue of faith or lack of faith, or it may not have percolated up to your consciousness as of now because, again, we're talking about the entire lunar cycle. Your new moon wishes, therefore, suggested 5 out of your 10. Great Mother always suggests 5 out of your 10 to work with for the full moon illumination reading. Of course, it's going to deal with self-worth. It's going to deal with health. And so you want to check at the website, greatmother.info, for those new moon wishes that are suggested for you, because it's going to have to do with, a sudden release of things. Maybe even your grandfather or a grandfather-like figure might become ill, and this might release something in you in terms of a kind of dependency on that wisdom and integrating your own ability to accept your own feelings and develop the wisdom from that. This is what you're dancing with. This is full moon gut chakra energy. This is when Dorothy actually steps into those ruby red slippers, and she asked Glinda the Good Witch in Munchkinland, how do I get home? This is how we get home, by centering ourselves and accepting our feelings. Our true feelings are that we do know that we are divine children of the Great Mother, Father, God. Otherwise, even on an ego level, we would not behave with such entitlement. But the rub is to be able to be entitled with a sense of unconditional love, not only for ourselves, but for others. And so what is it that is blocking that feeling for you at this time? What is it that is preventing that ability for you to feel unconditional love for yourself and others at this time? Great Mother wants you to go into that dance so that you can stand in your ruby red slippers, that regardless, there is no judgment or condemnation, only awareness. It's important for you to be aware of what that is for you, because as you become more aware of what that is for you that could be blocking your blessing, so to speak, you will be able to then go through and actively own your blessing in a way that honors yourself and honors others. When we are isolated, that might seem an impossible thing to do, which is why self-mothering is what will facilitate your ability to do that. Radical self-care. While you are in this 12th house of isolation, why not take advantage of the time that you now have to focus on yourself with more massages, more baths, more foods that you enjoy to eat slowly, more time to think to yourself, time to take walks by yourself, time to do the things that you need to do to realign yourself with this loving detachment, accepting what truly is. With Mama Drama Trauma, it's very difficult for us to accept the mother that we have. The saying goes, we must accept the mother that we have in order to release the one that we want. We live in fantasy, don't we? And in order to release, and as long as we live in fantasy, we're constantly triggered by her behaviors, actions, and attitudes that don't fulfill that fantasy. So we need time to detach in order to release that fantasy, to accept the mother that we have and release the one that we want. We do that through self-mothering. This is a full moon card. So look at those new moon wishes and remember self-mothering as your full moon card as we move into the full moon of Sagittarius this month in May to see what comes forward for you. Your outcome, Taurus, Gemini, Moon people, is fear. Now, the outcome of fear is telling us that you do have great apprehension about moving forward with this reading and what it means for you. Kali is the Hindu goddess that transforms fear. And as we know, Uranus is a sign of sudden changes, initiative, lightning, even oral rigs, things that just shoot up suddenly in our lives. It is an energy of change through liberation. This is a root chakra first quarter moon card, taking action based on a decision to face a challenge. So your outcome is that you will make a decision to face this challenge of really squarely looking at the dejection, the rejection that you are facing, that you are feeling at this time, with the assistance of the angels and self-compassion, to own your ability to center yourself through self-mothering, even if this is causing some physical imbalances for you. But to transmute and transform, change this fear through liberation, you will reground yourself by connecting with Great Mother. This is the scene of singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow that Dorothy does when she is at her wit's end about what to do with Miss Gulch in her attacks. Everyone gives her suggestions. Zeke, Huck, Hickory, all of them give their suggestions to her on the farm, but none of them satisfy her. And maybe this may be feeling the same way to you, Taurus, Gemini, Moon people, which is what is bringing up this visceral root chakra fear. But remember, You have a lot of energy in your 12th house, which means that Great Mother, as you sing Somewhere of the Rainbow, is going to download to you exactly whatever that insight is that you need to move forward with these planets of the Moon, Mercury, and Uranus. You're going to get sudden understanding, insights, internal wisdom about how to handle that fear that may be coming up for you at this time in your 12th house. This is a beautiful reading, although a quite challenging one for you Taurus, Gemini moon people. But remember that the new moon wishes that are suggested at this time are wishes that you make within the 48-hour period of the new moon in your time zone. A total of 10 wishes is suggested, and 5 will be recommended from the Great Mother Speaks channel for you to see what comes up for you this full moon in Sagittarius in May. Thank you so much for watching, sharing, and liking. But above all and most of all, remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too. For more information about Mama Drama Trauma, visit mamadramatrauma.info.